She can't come off the way she is, the way it's set up is now. We've got to send something out of here.
Oh, Pat, he says still have the hold of the new car.
The thing I would have thought is he's just going to come and get a couple of these coaches and take them away. I don't know where she's going to put them.
that same basic schedule today. So if you ever wondered how fast freight transport travel, it was this. Definitely under 60 miles an hour. Way under. Coming up ahead shortly off to the left, you'll notice a row of multicolored cabooses. They belong to the Red Caboose Lodge and Restaurant, where you can sleep overnight in a real railroad caboose. Just beyond that is the National Toy Train Collectors Museum, housing a fabulous collection of complete toy trains. Fairview Crossing will be next. Fairview. To enjoy steam railroading here on the road to paradise. A word about the passenger equipment you're riding today. We try to restore our equipment to its original condition, but in all cases, keep it accurate to the period of 1910 to 1930. The cars were used on a variety of eastern railroads in central Pennsylvania and northern New England, including the Boston and Maine and Philadelphia and Reading. They're made of solid oak and mahogany with mother-of-pearl inlay on the paneling between and above the windows. The kerosene chandeliers and coal-fed pot-bellied stoves are not just for appearance. We use them during the cold winter months. All our cars and locomotives are carefully restored right here on our property by our master craftsmen. Espinshade Crossing will be next. Espinshade. As you look out your window spread out before you is Lancaster County's beautiful farmland. Today we'll pass 21 working Amish and Mennonite farms, some of the most productive and beautiful lands in Pennsylvania. In an effort to protect that farmland, you see, the Strasburg Railroad donates a portion of the proceeds from your ticket purchase toward the preservation of that farm by the Lancaster Farmland Trust. So we can keep the railroad rural and agricultural. years. The stone portion of that farmhouse was built in 1774 and originally was the home of Cornelius Ferree, a wheelwright and Conestoga wagon maker. Settlers heading west would stop here, purchase Conestoga wagons, Pennsylvania long rifles, and other locally produced provisions for the long journey westward. Route 741 was originally a Conestoga wagon trail that led from Philadelphia to the Native American outpost at Carlisle. The very same route we took into our station. Just beyond Groundhog Cut will be none other than Cherry Crest Adventure Farm, home of the world-famous Amazing Maze corn maze. The objective is to find your way from one end of the 5-acre cornfield to the other without getting lost. They have games, music, food, and 50 farm fun attractions and a petting zoo. Fun for the entire family. Just follow the path from our picnic grove a short distance to the entrance where you pay a separate admission charge from there on in. The farm is open late May through early November. I believe it's just open on weekends at this time of year. Cherry Hill will be next, Cherry Hill Crossing. Notice the sign on Cherry Hill Station up ahead off to the left, very close to the tracks. While it might look small to you, that's because we go by at such a fast rate of Picnic Grove. We will not stop for passengers in this direction, but in the summer, when 2 trains are running, we stop here to meet the other train and discharge picnickers on the return portion of our trip. Very plain. There are no carpets, curtains, electric lights, no radio, television, telephones, computers, or cell phones and automobiles. The farmer drives a horse and buggy, and there are plenty of big work horses, mules, and willing hands to help with the hard work of farming. In addition to dairy cattle, the produce consists of corn, wheat, rye, hay, grain, barley, alfalfa, soybeans, and the famous Lancaster County broadleaf tobacco. These are a peaceful, prosperous, and pious people contributing greatly to the farm economy of Lancaster County. We're very proud to have them as our neighbors. Thank children on board the train. Do you believe in ghosts? Many years ago in the second valley off to the right, there used to be a narrow gauge railroad, Lancaster, Oxford, and Southern. Scrappers took up the rail so quickly that they stranded old number 6 and her train out on that line with no way to get back. Although long since abandoned, sometimes when we blow our whistle for Carpenter's Crossing, the ghost of that old LONS train answers us back. Once we stop, listen closely. Perhaps you'll hear that legendary ghost whistle answer us today. Sometimes that ghost takes Fridays off, but be very quiet, please. Well, folks, that's not an echo. We pay that ghost $27.50 a day to do that for us. Makes that ghost the highest paid employee on our railroad. Nobody's ever seen him, but somebody keeps cashing the paychecks. Speaking of ghosts, Carpenter's graveyard coming up ahead and off to the left. Anyone on board for that graveyard? Carpenter's crossing Carpenter's. A French Huguenot who fled France in the early 1700s to escape religious persecution. She and her father fled France for England, where they obtained a land grant for 2.5 square miles to Louis and they arrived here in 1712. It was they who named their colony Paradise. Back then, about 300 years ago, this was America's frontier. Only Marie Curie, her followers, the Pequot Indians, and Hans Herr and his followers were here again. Now we'll be approaching the Strasburg's one and only bridge, about 16 feet long. This new bridge replaced an older one to accommodate the railroad's growing stream of incoming freight traffic. The real reason the bridge was replaced was due to the Amish farmer complaining about his mules scraping their sides and hitting their heads. The bridge is now more than 6 mules wide and high enough that the mules no longer need to wear hard hats. We request one tiny favor. Would you mind picking up your feet when your car crosses that bridge? Take some of the weight off the cars and stress off of the bridge. Get ready, because here we go. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like we'll make it safely across the Pumpkinville Turnpike Bridge. For the past 4 miles, we've been traveling through the heart of what is commonly known as the Dutch country, the fertile farmland of the Blaine people, the Mennonites, the Dunkards, and the Amish. Within a 20 square mile radius of the Strasburg Railroad are more than 75,000 of these Blaine people. They live a quiet, peaceful life of hard work and deep religious devotion, exactly as their forefathers did when they arrived from Germany, Switzerland, and the Alsace-Lorraine portion of France. Their entire way of life is the same today as it was 2 3/4 centuries ago. Junction will be next, where the main line of the Strasburg meets the former Pennsylvania Railroad main line span track. Our track will begin to curve sharply to the left as we come alongside the New York and Chicago high-speed main line. The original route of the Philadelphia and Columbia Railroad became part of the mighty Pennsylvania in 1837. This was an important stop on the Pennsy with more than 30 trains per day scheduled in 1898. 4 mainline tracks remained in 1961. Today only 2 tracks owned by Amtrak remain. More than a dozen trains still pass daily, but they don't even slow down. In the earliest days of railroading, when trains were pulled by horses, this was a horse changing station. Where the white building stand today once stood Henry Lehman's Hotel. He supplied fresh horses for the train and refreshments for the passengers. On February 22nd, 1861, a special train carrying President-elect Abraham Lincoln stopped here briefly as he addressed the crowd of several thousand feet journeying to his inauguration and destiny. A little more than 4 eventful years later, another special train passed in the opposite direction, bearing the slain president's body on its sad journey back to Illinois. Paradise will be next. Soon you will be in paradise. Change here for Coatesville, Downingtown, Parkersburg, Paoli, Philadelphia, Trenton, Newark, New York. If you can run fast enough to catch an Amtrak train, that is. You may find it a little difficult to believe, folks, but this is paradise. Paradise, Pennsylvania, that is. You're in it, and let's face it, it may be as close as some of us will ever get to paradise. Once we stop, we'll be here for a few minutes while we move our locomotive around to the opposite end of our train for the return trip.
You'll see it go by. They're going to
You might wish to take this opportunity to stand up, step in the aisle, and pull back on that seat. It can go the other way. Let's do that now.
Yeah, the train's coming back. It's going to go around, roll to the other end.
The locomotive pulling our train today is old number 90, built in 1924 by the Broadway Locomotive Works. It weighs 210 tons and originally ran for the Great Western Railroad in Loveland, Colorado. Tender carries 15 tons of coal and 9,000 gallons of water. On a typical round trip, our locomotive consumes 1/2 ton of coal, all hand shoveled by our firemen into a 1,000-degree firebox. We use almost 1,000 gallons of water for each trip we make today. In a few moments, we'll bring 210 tons of old steam locomotive number 90 right past your window. Our engineer today is Dave and our fireman is Shelley. Be sure to give them a really big yell, wave, and cheer as they pass by. Makes them very happy, and besides, we wouldn't want them to leave us here, would we?
That's going to switch over and go in the
There's another freight coming there.
The interchange track on the right, where number 90 will be passing us shortly, is used to deliver freight cars off the main line into our East Strasburg yard, where shipments are offloaded to trucks for local delivery. Our freight consists of growing quantities of lumber, biodiesel, fuel, which are long and heavy enough.
See the other track that's going down? See the track down
He's talking things up.
Hear it. Look out this side, guys. Over here. Over here, guys.
Enjoy the sights, sounds, and smells of old-time steam railroading here on the road to paradise.
Sit down.
Where's Tom?
Second the steak. You get clean, you know, they take them in and they wash them. It's getting washed.
I think they are.
Remember that video where they were getting all washed and shiny?
We gotta recreate that
Scheduled trains stop here to discharge picnickers. We maintain free of charge the tables, benches, barbecues, hand-pumped well water, and period-style restroom facilities. You supply the picnic lunch. Get off any westbound trains and return on any later train. You missed none of the ride. Just don't miss the last train of the day. It's a long walk back to Strasburg. Passengers, this is your stop. If you wish to get off at the picnic grove, please exit where you see a uniformed trainman, a stack box, and an open gate. Do not attempt to open a gate on your own. It's not safe to do so. Please bear in mind you'll be here for a minimum of 1 hour. So unless you're having a picnic, stay aboard the train. Once we get passengers on and off the train, we'll resume our trip back to East Strasburg. Railroad. A typical small-town depot of over a century ago. Along the Norfolk station you'll find lots to do, including our Trackside 90 Cafe and several fine gift shops.
Where'd he go?
Be sure to check out our value-added attractions for the entire family, including the mice, the pint-sized puffer bellies, steam train, and the cranky car rides for kids.
Look, there they are, waiting.
Open today, James. I saw the
Bye-bye.
break.
Bye-bye.
Finally, don't forget the Railroad Museum of Pennsylvania. across the street. One of the state's most popular museums with an outstanding collection of locomotives, cars, and thousands of other artifacts and exhibits of railroad interest. As our 9-mile journey over the rails of history quickly draws to a close, we hope you've enjoyed your visit with us today. I want to thank each and every one of you for riding with us today, because it's after all you who makes all of this possible. The ticket you bought not only got you a ride in America's oldest short line, it's a contribution to preserving the past in our beautiful Lancaster County farmland. Grand Central Station, East Strasburg, will be next.
Oh dear. All Thomas Street. Little Thomas Street. The whole store. Can you see?
Every stop they have pajamas, t-shirts, now, the train There's the red caboose.
A final reminder about safety. Wait until the train has come to a complete stop in the station before leaving your seat. Watch your step and leave on the station side only. Remember the golden rule when crossing the tracks is to stop, look, both ways, and listen. Locomotives will pass by on the parking lot side of the train. Secure those distracting electronic devices and refrain from crossing the tracks till the locomotive safely passes. Last but not least, be sure to check the area around you, making sure that you have all of your personal possessions, leaving nothing behind. From all of us at the Strasburg Railroad Company, take time to visit the idyllic Pennsylvania Dutch country, all the value-added attractions on the station wall, and have a safe and careful trip home. Join us again sometime soon for another journey on the road to paradise. Remember, the next time you travel, why not take the train? It's a lot more fun. Grand Central Station, East Strasburg next, all change.
Here they come. There's a good here.
Back into the station. Have to get off the train. Maybe they're it's hard to tell. How's it waiting down here?
But where's the
That's my caboose. There's the whole dolly. Probably around 16 years. Look at all the coal they have. They must be going. You can hang us up there. It was fun. Oh, what was there? Oh, 475. We got out there. It's shot too. My nephew Michael, died in Junction. And, you know, we were out there. Maybe we were in that and he said he was
You know your locomotive.
last time he was in
Oh, yeah.
you know, the first trip up here with Rob and I.
You can tell by the whistle, I can tell.
So one thing we're going to buy with the kids is they're taking trips.
We are.
He's gonna hook up right here. Watch him, here he comes.